it's Lola the Manager, and this is episode 10 of Life as a Project Manager. In today's video, we're actually going to develop a project charter. So it's going to be a combination of me talking to you like this, and we're going to take it to the computer. Let's go. Congratulations, it's your first day at work and it's time for you to shadow one of the project managers. They were just assigned a new project and now they have to go over a project brief. What is a project brief? Now, before we go into the details of that project brief, depending on the way your company operates, someone from your department is going to assign you a project to complete from beginning to end. They may use some type of software to let you know, hey, you have a project. They may send you an email. I don't know how the communications work wherever you are, but at the different companies that I'm a part of, I typically get an email that I am going to be starting a new project, and then that directs me to the software that we'll be utilizing that gives me something that is called a project brief. A project brief is a concise document that summarizes the key objectives, scope, and requirements of that project. Now, you as the project manager, you need to review that brief. And after you review it, you'll develop something called a project charter. Now, before we get into this charter, let's go to the computer so you can kind of see what a brief would look like.
All right, so here is a simple project brief that I created. I will say that I utilized the assistance of Claude AI to help me flesh out this mock brief. This is not a real project. This is not for any type of contracts I've created. This is something net new. However, I do just want to let it be known that I did use AI to kind of help me put this together. I will say that depending on the company you work for, it may have all of these elements or it may have just a few. It really depends on what you have to work with at your company and your PMO. This specific project that we have a brief and we'll be developing the project charter is a restaurant website launch. So the project name is Launchpad Restaurant Website, and the project duration is May 1st to August 31st. So the recording of this video is in April. Typically, when you are given a project, it is given to you a few weeks before it is initiated or before you start the planning process. So maybe initiation took place without you, and now you're just going to work through the planning. I want you to also know that depending on the company you work for, you may not even have to do a project charter, but in every instance, you will be given some type of brief to let you know what's going on with the project. We know that I'm the project manager, Lola the Manager, and we're going to start off with our project objectives. Remember, these are very high level. For this sample project, the objectives is to design and develop a modern responsive website, implement online ordering and reservation systems, integrate social media and content marketing strategies, and launch the website by August 31st, which is the restaurant's grand opening. Now, when we look at the objectives, understand that everything else that we do has to fall in line with the objectives. So if anything in this brief starts talking about an app, we are completely not in alignment with the project objectives. That's just an example. Now we'll go to the deliverables. The deliverables are the tangible items or the key things that need to get done. So whoever gave us the objectives, they knew that these deliverables will mean that we have met the objectives. And these deliverables are wireframes and design mockups, content management system, CMS implementation, e-commerce platform integration, social media integrations, search engine optimization, SEO strategy. The deliverables, meaning the things that you will be handing over as a project manager to the end user, the stakeholder, or whoever put this request in, will be those 5 items. Those items may have multiple things that come with them, but those are the items nonetheless. Now let's go into the major tasks and milestones. So major tasks and milestones are pretty much those key things that have to happen and the time frame in which those things have to happen. They also kind of serve as like these checkpoints or these phases that let us know where we are in the project. So we have the project initiation and planning. We're saying that's going to be about 2 weeks. And during that phase, the major tasks to take place would be to gather the website requirements and preferences from stakeholders, define the project scope, goals, and timeline, and then assemble project team and assign roles. As you can see, the initiation does not mean that the project has started, like kicked off. It just means that we're gathering what we need, we're defining things and providing clarity and outline, and then we're kind of assembling the team that we are going to need to actually get this done. Next is website design and development. That's going to be from May 16th to July 15th, which is about 2 months. So this is where we're going to create those wireframes and design mockups, develop the website front end and back end, integrate the CMS, online ordering and reservation systems, implement social media integration. This is the part where you see us start executing those deliverables. Remember those wireframes, the CMS implementation, the social media. So those are the deliverables that we need to hit. And it looks like that's the time frame in which we want to hit them, and we're giving 2 months for it. Then we see the next phase is the content creation and SEO. That's from June 1st to July 31st. That's another 2 months. And at that time, that's where you're developing the website content. So the menu, the about us, the contact information, optimize website for search engines, on-page and off-page SEO, and then plan and create social media content. Now, I'm someone that has web development experience, web design experience, marketing experience. So this is not a foreign project to me. So when we look at the last phase where it says website design and development, this is us just creating the skeleton of the website. That next phase is where we'll be creating the meat of the website. Then we go into testing and quality assurance. That's August 1st to August 15th. So that's about 2 weeks of conducting thorough website testing. So you're assessing the functionality, the usability, the compatibility, and then you want to make sure that you address and resolve any issues or bugs that come up during that testing and quality assurance phase. And then the last part is launch and promote. So from August 16th to August 31st, that's where you're going to deploy the website to a live server. You're going to initiate social media and content marketing campaigns, gather feedback, and make the necessary adjustment. As detailed as this looks, this is very high level of what needs to get done. I'll give you an example. Let's go under project initiation and planning. It says define project scope, goals, and timeline. Well, within that major task, there's multiple tasks that need to get done. And that's happening for every single bullet point here. Let's go into the project schedule. Now, this is a high level breakdown of the schedule. This is everything that I stated before, but this is just kind of showing it in a chart format. There's 5 major tasks that need to get done. The start date is May 1st for that first task, and the end date of everything is August 31st. And this is what we've been provided in our brief. Now we have to take this information and go implement it in a project charter. But let's go back to my video so we can learn more about what that is.
Whew, I know that was a lot. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into a project charter. So you took the information from that brief to develop this charter. A project charter is a formal document that not only authorizes the project to move forward, but it also provides high-level directives on how this project should be executed. Project charters are developed in the initiation phase of a project, which means you're not the only person working on this. Not only are you taking the information from the brief, but you will be reaching out to different people within your department, within the organization, or within this project in order for you to develop this charter. Let's take a look at what's inside of a charter. First and foremost, you have the project purpose and justification. This is the business case and rationale for the project. Why are we even doing this? What is the purpose behind it? What's the value? What's the impact? Then you'll have the project objectives and success criteria. This clearly defines the desired outcomes and how success will be measured. Then we'll move on to the high-level requirements. These are the major requirements and constraints for this project. Then we'll have the project scope of what's included and what's not included in this project. Then you have your project stakeholders. It identifies all the key stakeholders and players in this project, as well as their roles and responsibilities. It'll highlight the project assumptions and risks. This is a list of known assumptions and potential risks of this project. Then you'll have the project manager and authority. So it will tell you who is the assigned project manager and the level of authority in which they have in this project. And lastly, it will have a high-level budget and timeline. So it provides an initial estimate of the project's budget and the timeline. Now, this document is referenced throughout the entire project lifecycle, and it serves as our baseline. If at any point throughout this project that we veer off track or we don't know what's going on or someone would like to know what's supposed to happen, that project charter is our source of truth. Now let's go to the computer.
Welcome back. Let's get into this project charter. In the project brief, we learned that we are doing the website launch for the restaurant, which is happening alongside the grand opening of the restaurant. In the brief, we were provided all this information that we now need to do some research so we can begin creating this project charter. Now, the project purpose and justification, as identified in my initial video, is where we find out what's the purpose of this, what type of value, what type of impact is happening. Again, I just want to provide the disclaimer that this charter was actually developed using the assistance of Claude AI. I went into the platform, provided it some information and things that I needed, and then I took that information and built out this charter. Let's get into it. Now, when we look at the project purpose and justification, as I stated earlier, this is the part where we find out, what is this? What is the purpose? Why are we even doing this project? So here we have the Launchpad Restaurant website project aims to design, develop, and launch a modern responsive website to establish an online presence for the new Launchpad restaurant. The website will serve as a digital platform for showcasing the restaurant's menu, accepting online orders and reservations, and engaging with customers through social media integration. This project is crucial to support the restaurant's grand opening and attract a broad customer base in the digital age. This is the synopsis of why we're even here. This is the story we need. And one thing we already learned from just reading this is the fact that the restaurant itself is having a grand opening. It's opening for the first time to customers, and they want to launch this website alongside with it to get customers to the restaurant. Let's go into the project objectives and success criteria. So we want to design and develop a visually appealing, user-friendly website that reflects the Launchpad restaurant's brand and values. We want to implement an online ordering system and reservation platform to streamline operations and enhance the customer experience. We want to integrate social media channels to promote the restaurant, engage with customers, and build a strong online community. We want to optimize the website for search engines to improve visibility and attract potential customers. We want to launch the website by August 31st, in time for the restaurant's grand opening. And we want to achieve a minimum of 1,000 website visitors and 100 online orders within the first month of launch. As I stated earlier, the project objectives and success criteria is a clear outline of what needs to get done and how do we know that we've successfully done what we said we wanted to do. So you see that last bullet point that has the metrics of achieving a minimum of 1,000 website visitors and 100 online orders within the first month of launch. That means if they did everything that they were supposed to do, we should achieve that goal. Now, if we don't achieve that goal and we did everything we needed to do, that's going to be a conversation that this team, these stakeholders need to have a conversation about to figure out, why didn't we achieve that goal? Let's go into the high-level requirements. High-level requirements are the things that the stakeholders feel like they need in order to accomplish their goal. So they want a responsive design for seamless user experience across various devices. Whether you're using a desktop, tablet, or a mobile phone, it should be a seamless experience. They also want user-friendly navigation and intuitive interface, meaning they want something that customers are not struggling with, that it's pretty straightforward. Online ordering and reservation systems with secure payment gateways, content management systems for easy website updates and content publishing, social media integrations with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, search engine optimization strategies for improved online visibility, and compliance with web accessibility standards. When I look at high-level requirements, I see them as non-negotiables. Let's take a look at the scope. Remember, our project scope is a broad description of what we want to do and what we don't want to do. This project scope includes the design, development, testing, and launch of the Launchpad restaurant website, along with the necessary integrations and functionalities mentioned in the requirement. So anything that is not in the requirements and anything that is not in alignment with the design, development, testing, and launch of this website is not in scope. Then we have those project stakeholders. So these are the key players and their roles and responsibilities. So in this type of project, you'll have the project sponsor, which is the restaurant owner or investor. So this is the person who sponsored this project. They want this project done. Then you have your project manager. That's me. You have the web designer, the person that will design this website. You have the web developers. So these are the people that are doing the coding on the front and the back end. You'll have your content writers. So these are the people that are developing the copy. You have your SEO specialists. So this is the subject matter expert on search engine optimization. You have your quality assurance tester. So this is the person that's internally in our company that will be testing out this website, testing out the functionality, the accessibility, everything that needs to be tested. They will be testing it to make sure that it's actually ready for our final stakeholders, which are the end users, the restaurant customers, and the potential patrons. Now we can take a look at the potential assumptions and risks. So the assumptions in this project is timely access to design assets, content, and stakeholder feedback, availability of required resources and expertise, and adequate budget allocation. So we're assuming these are the things that we have for this project and we'll be able to get them. Now, the risk we also have, or potential risks we can have, are scope creep, technical challenges, resource constraints, delays in content creation, and potential security vulnerabilities. Now, scope creep is something you'll hear in your projects. This is pretty much things that divert from the initial scope. So if we go back, we know that our scope includes design, development, testing, and launch of the Launchpad restaurant website. Now, if they ask us to take everything from the website and also develop a mobile app, we are now having scope creep. If they ask us, hey, can we add these additional designs? I know it wasn't initially in the scope, but it's pretty much the same as what you already developed, but we just need a couple more. That can be scope creep. And scope creep is so subtle because it may be something that your team can do in a few minutes. But if every day you're adding something that can take a few minutes, it's going to veer you off track. But also, as a project manager, you need to make sure that you understand that you are managing three things: scope, schedule, and budget, or scope, schedule, and cost. So just because something doesn't necessarily impact the scope as much, it may impact the schedule or the cost. So that scope creep ended up hurting us in our costs, and we don't want that. Now let's take a look at the project manager and their authority. Me, Lola, the manager, I'm assigned as the project manager, and I have the authority to allocate resources, manage the project team, and make decisions within the project's scope and constraint. As a project manager, you are not anyone's boss per se. You are the person that people look to ensure that they are in alignment with the scope, the schedule, and the cost. And whatever decisions need to be made, you have the authority to make those decisions as long as they are in alignment with the project's scope, schedule, and cost. Keep that in mind. Then we have the high-level budget and timeline. So the estimated budget to complete this is $50,000 to $75,000. That's how much you've been allocated to you. The project duration, as we know, is May 1st to August 31st. So we are anticipating for this to take 4 months. So the project charter, as intense as it may look, it's a pretty good reference for what's taking place throughout this project. It serves as the source of truth no matter what's going on. Someone can say, oh, such and such said that we have to do this. Well, is it in alignment with the project charter? If not, we're not getting it done. So I hope that this was helpful. Let's make it back to the main video.
And that's everything about project briefs and charters. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm excited for the next one where we actually go into developing project schedules and project plans. If you found this informative or you have some more questions, please drop a comment. I would love to answer them. As always, thank you for tuning in. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you decided to level up your professional development with me, and I don't take that lightly. Please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And as always, until next time.